All right, the Focus about to take on the Commodore. All right, Crazy is coming out now, who's been running some very good times this evening. I know they are desperately trying to get a 10 out of this car, but you know what? Sometimes it's better to be consistent rather than be super fast. So for those guys being consistent, they're doing a really, really good job in that car.
163 to the 60, Stu. The Focus gets there first. 1271 with a 4, 113, and 1117 with a 5, 120 mile an hour for the Hilux there.
Well, we got the Crusader down here in the rocket lane. A little bit of 1J action. Thank you everybody who was watching on the live stream for your patience. We've got that fixed, and we're back with all the action here at Aeroflow Race for Real. Also, a big shout out to some of our great sponsors that we also have here at Sydney Dragway as well, Platinum Racing Products, who are doing a diff at the moment for a particular S15, which I hopefully will be out very, very soon on the drag strip. It's going to be running radials. It is a fantastic car. I had a look at it about 4 weeks ago. It is a weapon. Of course, Pepper Money, if you've got a car in the build and you're thinking, well, I need a loan, depending on how much that is, definitely get in touch with Pepper Money, guys. And the team there will be able to advise you on the best way to go about trying to fund that particular job that you've got. Now, unfortunately, it looks like Sammy Joe has done a similar problem that she's had problems with the last few weeks in that car. The drive shaft just does not want to play ball, or the tail shaft. G'day to Psyop Gypsy. G'day Psyop. How are you? Unfortunately there for Sammy Joe, I'll have to take that car back to the pits and get that car sorted.
Aeroflow, famous for our massive range of hose, fittings and performance products. Air filters, oil filters, fittings, engine and transmission parts, fuel systems, tanks, silicone hose, exhaust, air conditioning, turbo and nitrous accessories and more. Get your free catalogue and shop online now at aeroflowperformance.com.
We got a question from Panel Man Van. I have a question. Do you ever get Camrys going down? The answer is yes. Panel Van Man, now and again we do get Camrys. Tonight we don't actually have a Camry, but what we do have is a Toyota Orange Sportivo that is here tonight. So I guess that's kind of as close as you're going to get. Well, speaking about 2Js, it's back. Came out in its first pass. The Toyota Supra down here in the Rocket Lane had a bit of an issue. He's back. This thing has got a set of radials on it. It means business.
Got quite a few Supras here tonight, haven't we, Stu?
It's fantastic to see, mate. Because, as I said earlier, if you're in sport compact drag racing around the world, generally a 2J is what you want underneath the bonnet. We went 2.38 and 60. Then it's come on boost and it's just going like a rocket. A 12.18 with a 7, 140.
I was going to say, like a rocket, 140 mile an hour through the finish line, Stu. Nudging about roughly 220 k's an hour thereabouts, but the car in the Aeroflow lane pretty good there too, 12.39 with a 5, and your rotary cars are multiplying.
Yes, it's great to hear, isn't it? We love our rotaries. Your secret, you love them, Ben. We've got a little rotor down here in the Rocket Lane about to take on the BMW. We're fantastic. We just had Brett White up here in the studio. And Brett will be competing at round 2 of the National Drag Racing Championship in Pro Alcohol in his funny car, affectionately known as Carlos.
Yeah, just a little bit more work to do to prep a car ready for a little bit of testing, I think. But sounds like our RX2 has had some issues on the hit. There was a little bit of a clunk, I think I heard on the track mics.
That must have just escaped my hearing, because normally, you know, I hear a rotary and it's
elevated, yes.
You know, it's gets my heart pumping, gets the blood flowing. You know. But no, it's a bit unfortunate. Hopefully it's nothing too bad. And they'll be able to get that car back to the pits, have a look at it, and then possibly be able to get it back out. But we've got another BMW coming out next in the Rocket Lane. These late model BMWs, we're getting a lot of them come out here to Aeroflow Race for Real, and some of them are just getting quicker and quicker.
Well, I mean, they're pretty quick out of the box, Stu.
Well, they are.
You know, you give them a little bit of a tune-up, and they become a completely different machine. You know, just goes to show the I use the word restrictions that the manufacturers put in place to, I suppose, allow the driver to build up to a certain skill. But you know, certainly there's plenty of tuning shops around that know how to get all these late model cars to transform.
Well, it's good to see the BMWs, the late model BMWs, starting to improve in their performance, because obviously we've seen it from the Mercs, we've seen it with the Volkswagens and the Audis. It's great to see the BMW starting to step up. He's been taking on 62 Club. He's been doing some pretty wicked burnouts all night, and absolutely enjoying the conditions out there tonight for Aeroflow Race for Real. So even that Boomer trying to do a burnout then, Steve, just shows you how much poke they've got from a standing start. Soyop Gypsy saying, I'm going for the Black Beauty. She's a dark horse. I have to agree with you, Soyop. Well,
Club Sport away first with a 2:19 reaction time. The BMW a little bit slow off the start line, but I don't think he's going to catch the Commodore. 12:37 with a 4, 114 mile an hour through the finish line. The BMW 11:56 with a 3, 121. So a lot faster in ET, but was just left behind on the start line there, Stu.
Yeah, he was, but Yeah, that Beamer, 121 miles per hour is nothing to sneeze at. Here comes the Volvo, which has been putting on some great passes all night. And as Steve said earlier, just getting quicker and quicker. There is a slight breeze out there. And he's taking on the R33 Skyline.
Just lifting that left front again. The shift light blazing away for probably 100 foot of the racetrack there. Change me, please. And then I don't think the Skyline just got him at the other end. 2/10 across the finish line. 11:53 with an 8. 1:24 for the Aeroflow lane.
Yeah. I didn't think he was going to get there, Steve, because it was a big wiggle off the start line from the Skyline.
He was he dropped about 1/10.5 in reaction times, but came on around at the bottom end, carrying a little bit more speed than the Volvo. Of course, the Volvo not the most slippery through the air. I don't think they ever have, and probably never will be.
No. All right, the Camaro up against the Jeep.
Although the Jeep, the Jeep's a multi-story Volvo, is it not?
Yeah, except it's got a big 5.7 litre Hemi underneath the bonnet of it.
Sound like one of those cars off the throttle just momentarily, but a 12:41 with a 9, 109 miles an hour for the Jeep in the Aeroflow lane to a 13:25 at 108 for the Camaro in the Rocket.
All right, High Risk is back out in the Aeroflow lane. What a great looking Commodore. He's going to be taking on the older model Jeep. So conditions out there still very, very good and favouring all the races. Probably coming back a little bit towards some of our turbo cars.
There's a very slight breeze blowing if we look at our Aeroflow flags. They're just flickering ever so slightly. Of course, tomorrow's slated to be a little bit warmer here in Sydney, mid-30s.
Yeah, great beach weather. Absolutely, I'll be out bodyboarding again, Ben. Just because I drink VB doesn't mean I use an esky lid at the beach. Esky lid's not big enough for me, mate. All right, the Tirana down there in the Rocket lane, about to take on the WR. Can you behave yourself? I'm trying to be serious here. Well, I've got an esky for. Oh, actually, I won't go there. I'll tell you off, Mike. The Tirana 2.47 in the 60 and 11.53 with the 9 at 128. And the WRX, a little bit of smoke out of that car at around half track.
There was a fair bit of smoke there. The Tirana, nice clean pass for it. Still a little bit slower in the 60 foot than I think. Would like 2.47 with a 7. But the car definitely working well at the top end of the racetrack.
All right, the VX Commodore up against the Falcon. That's never a good sign when you see Wes on the quad towing a rotary. Well, big turn of the tyres there from the Commodore. Certainly a lot of gear changes in that Commodore in the first 60 foot of the racetrack there, Steve. Yeah, probably.
Although he wasn't turning lock to lock in a straight line.
All right, SS Jet, the VF Commodore, winding it up in the Burnout. He's seen who's next to him because he's got the Mustang, which has been running some pretty good times.
Pretty good times. 10.05, 143 or something like that.
He's knocking on the door of a 9-second pass. 1.71 in the 60 this time for the Mustang. Fair bit of wheel spin there for SS Jet. Runs on through 10.15 with an 8 to a 12.80 there. As 98 General Motors Holden comes out now. He's going to be taking on the Boomer. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. The Holden ripping it up in the Burnout. That's what we like to see. A little. Too bad we can't get that smell the smoke up here in the commentary box.
Well, you can always take a mic down.
Oh man, if we got nitro fumes up here in the studio, Steve would have to strap me down with a 2.5 ton ratchet strap. I'd be firing on all 8 cylinders. Oh, 1377.
Yeah, 122 for the BMW. There was a lot of wheel spin off the start line there, though. 1642 with an 884 mile an hour for the VT.
All right, the Mustang taking on the VN Commodore. Now, the VN Commodore's just seen what 98 General Motors Holden's done. He's gone, well, I'm not going to be beaten.
Nope. And we now can't see the start line.
No, all I can see is tyre lights. Tell you what, though, that Mustang is a great package that he's got there too. Consistent low 11-second passes out of Stang. Fair bit of smoke coming out of the back of it, running a bit rich. The Commodore once again with a single spinner. And 11.44 there for the Stang on that pass. And the VN Commodore just torching that tyre and running on through with a 22-second pass. Yep. Well, Hayden Patterson, thank you, Hayden. A shout out to the New South Wales Super Club that are tearing it up tonight. Thank you very much to the New South Wales Super Club for coming out and supporting Aeroflow Race for Real here at Sydney Dragway. Steve and I are absolutely loving the 2J action down on track.
Sure are. One of the best 6-cylinder engines ever developed, I think, the 2J, and it's been proven for a number of years.
Absolutely.
Although the Barra is slowly catching up, but the Super, I think, I'm a Ford guy.
You are a Ford guy.
And there's a Barra in one of my other favourite cars coming out in a minute, but definitely the 2J, I think, gets my vote.
Yeah. All right, got the Audi wagon about to take on the Commodore Ute.
Yeah, slow wagon just rolls around the water, casual as you like, up to the staging beams. Ready to lay down another 11-second pass. Audi's already in stage, ready to go. Crewman lined up a little bit, skew-if on the start line. Audi out of there. 167 to the 60. Lays down 11.71 with a 5, 117 through the finish line.
Giuliano Farris said, sorry, we are 13B and 20B guys, aren't we, mate? We sure are, Giuliano. Rotaries to the front. I just saw a post today that there's a fellow who bought the ex-Rod Harvey Mazda that he used to run, the old Datsun, I think it was. It had a 30.
Coupe.
I think the coupe, yeah.
No, they ran a SR20 in it, I think.
Yeah.
The blue one.
Yeah, the blue one. Well,
Yes,
someone bought
the
it.
SR20 in it.
Well, now it's got a rotary in it, and it's running 7s overseas now.
Okay.
With the new owner.
Always liked the little 1200 coupe, actually.
Yeah, that was a wicked car, wasn't it? That was wild.
Oh, just the shape in general. I think
Yeah.
they're a pretty cool looking car.
Giuliano said, you can't tell me a 2J and a RB sound better than a tough 13B, 20B. Look, okay, Giuliano.
I'm not going to start something.
No.
But
Let me set the record straight, Giuliano. I love the sound of a 13B and a 20B. I love the sound. But if you're talking about overall performance, and if you look at around the world with the top 10 lists in sport compact drag racing, the 2J unfortunately has got it over the 20B and the 13B. They are very, very quick. I mean, Rod Harvey here in Australia, I mean, he's got one of the quickest 2J powered full race vehicles in the country. So it's running to the 5. So, but having said that, the Pack Performance guys, the new Pack 6, which when I say new, it's been refreshed, top to bottom, back to front. They're out here doing plenty of testing, and then around the country, they are trying to get that car into the 5s.
they did some pretty good runs last week at the test and tune. Nice lead for the Commodore in the rocket lane.
Yeah, the Aeroflow lane though, Steve. Just moving around a little bit on the brakes. Yeah, I know, Giuliano. We know, but we don't talk about these things. Well, I know we don't generally, but to be fair, I am a commentator and I love sport compact drag racing. I love it with a passion because that's the side of the car scene that I come from, Giuliano. Here in Sydney, I come from the 4-cylinder street scene, and I love it. That's a passion of mine. And I know that Steve appreciates the rotaries,
Everything.
as well as the 2J. He appreciates everything.
Everything.
Particularly if it's got a Ford badge on it.
Well,
But,
that doesn't even have to have that. If you'd asked me that question 20 years ago, yes.
Yes, well, that's right.
But, you know, as you grow older, you tastes change a little bit, I guess, and you learn to appreciate everything, you know, that somebody puts a lot of hard work and effort and money into. You know, I can look at any car and go, that's nice.
Exactly right.
I happily own a lot of the cars that are racing here tonight. They don't have to have a Ford badge on it.
No, but you've got a very, very nice car sitting at home. Your Escort.
Well, it's not at home at the moment, but yes,
Yes,
it will
yeah.
be. It will be shortly, hopefully. But yeah, I think you know, and that's the beauty of drag racing, is that you can be an individual and you can have a car that is not, I'll say the word cookie cutter, and it will fit into a class, if not multiple classes of racing. You can race to a budget. You don't have to have the best of everything to be competitive. There is a number of options to get out there and have a bit of a go at drag racing, where other forms of motorsport, if you don't have the latest and greatest, it's very difficult to be competitive. Not saying it's impossible. It just means that, you know, you might face a bit of an uphill battle. But I also am starting to appreciate other forms of motorsport as well.
Yeah. Well, of course, I came from other forms of motorsport. I mean, I came from watching circuit racing, and my knowledge of circuit racing used to be fairly good. Probably not quite as good now, because obviously I've been commentating on drag racing burnouts for 11 years. But I'll tell you what, when I watch Bathurst, and every time I watch Bathurst, it just drives me to try and be a little bit better every year. Well, the big 383 Yank tank is keeping the Ute honest.
Very much so, Stu. There's not much in it. Only a tenth of a second across the finish line. The Ute takes it with a 36.105.
Oh, the big Nissan Patrol. And And that Barra singing away underneath the bonnet.
I think it was the tyres singing away, wasn't it?
Well, I heard engine through my cans, as well as tyre, but wow. Go. Right, they've just picked up something. Just to make sure there's not a leak coming out of that car. No, he's all right.
Is it just me or is it a little bit of a lean?
No,
a bit of a lean.
I was thinking the same thing, Steve. It's got that lean to the right on, like almost like an old hot rod style, gasser style.
Patrol away with a 625 and 080 light for the Anglia in the rocket lane. It's going to take this one out 15.24 with a 90 mile an hour through the finish line.
Okay, just a message come through from Tim. If you are the owner of a Nissan Pulsar and your number plate is DG5 5ZD, that's a Nissan Pulsar, with the number plates DG5 5ZD, we need you to go back to your car and move it, please. You are blocking trailer access. So if you are the driver of a Nissan Pulsar, number plate DG5 5ZD, you need to go back to your car immediately and move it, please. You are blocking trailer access.
.11.42 with a 9, 132 mile an hour for the Aeroflow lane there. Nice pass to an 11.41 with a 6, 123. Stu, only 0.2 of a second across the finish line.
Well, we were oh so close to giving some money away tonight. The heartbreaking thing is, though, for all our races, we were two entrants short.
Yes, we missed by 2. Unfortunately, so we've seen a couple of good lights there. I think Ross Bilby was the quickest with a 000. There was an 034, I think. Grant Azzopardi was just 080. A couple other ones too, a little bit better, but unfortunately we need that magic 800 entries. We got 98.
Yeah. Yep, so we're just 2 cars short, unfortunately. Hopefully next week we can give some money away for the fastest reaction times. No problem, Tim. Not a problem at all, mate. We're happy to help. So hopefully the driver of that Nissan Pulsar with the number plate DG5 5ZD is hightailing it down to their car. We've got that Mustang, which is sitting down patiently just below us. I'd love to see this car get into the 10s.
Didn't he already? You already ran 10s, 10.5s.
Ten
He's
five?
running 10.5s.
10.5, did he? Sorry.
I thought the one run was like a 10.0, wasn't it?
Oh, 10.0 was it? Sorry, 9. That's
Working
what I meant.
from working
Sorry,
from memory.
no, you're right. Sorry,
Working from memory. Sorry, Stu.
No, you're right. I was getting mixed up.
Oh, it's all right. We see plenty of cars here.
Yeah.
We've got 100 of them. Most of them have done 3-4 passes here tonight. I'm really disappointed that you don't remember what every car runs.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, no. Look, if you can get a 9 out of this car, I think he'd be happy. Even a 10 flat, I think he'd be stoked with it.
171 to the 60. And runs on through for a 10.15 with a 5. I tell you what, it's pretty consistent.
It is.
143 mile an hour in the rocket lane there.
Wouldn't want to verse him in a bracket race.
No, but the other thing too is, Stu, it's not spinning the wheels, it's not losing traction, it's not, he's not pedaling it, he's just building it on boost, letting it go, and that's what it's run nearly every time it's come out. So it's seems like a very well sorted car.
All right, the 2 heavyweights, Smoke and Joe Sabello and Ross Bilby. Ross has already gone 000 with the front wheels in the air. Tell you what, the Cordy's actually behaving itself tonight, Steve. There's not too much lateral movement in the car like normal. As I say that, it goes back to its normal.
068 on the tree for Sorbello, 054 for Bilby in the rocket lane.
That's better, Joe.
897 with a 6, 151 for Sorbello in the Nissan. And a 967 with a 5, 138.
Well, Ramadan Saleh in that 430 cubed LSX powered Tirana, that thing sounds wicked. And that's wicked in capital letters. He's taking on this RX4, which got a little bit of nitrous on board.
Yeah, I do love the blue of this RX4. Looks really, really good under lights here at Sydney Dragway, the electric blue. A couple of big pedals there for the Mazda, the Tirana, making a beeline for the centre. I think both cars chased the start line a little bit too hard there.
There was certainly a big move to the left there for the Tirana. I can see them just mopping up maybe a little spot of liquid off the start line too, which is in that left wheel track. So maybe the Tirana, just a little bit of condensation may have just popped out of it. Well, we've got the Chrysler Centura, which is coming out now.
I think I could safely say the only similarities between these next two cars is they've got yellow on them. That's about it.
Yellow and black.
Yellow and black, that's about it.
Yeah, Chris Doombas out there in the Volkswagen Golf in the Galano sponsored Volkswagen, and Tim Fryer in his Chrysler Centura, which on his last pass did very similar to that Tirana. Just stuck the rear end out. Probably didn't help him a little bit on these pass, but Chris Doombas doing a great job in this Golf. It sounds tough. That's better from Tim Fryer. 1.50 and 60. Chris Doombas, 1.61. Oh, 9.55, 147 for Chris Doombas.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Tim Fryer, also a great pass too, a 10.09 with 3 at 134.
Just looking, the Golf there is slower to the 60-foot, but just started to build from there. He had 10 mile an hour on the Centura at half track, and yeah, nice pass. Is that that's not an R though, is it?
I think it might be.
Well, he pulled up to the water and did a burnout. That was
okay.
Normally the R would I would have thought would have gone
then.
around, but
maybe not then.
Not 100% sure, but still a 9 second pass there.
That is huge. Tim Corcoran said a big shout out to Galano Engineering. Hey Tim, if you're still down in the pits, mate, can you shoot through a message and let us know what's actually under the bonnet, if you know of that Volkswagen, please, mate? I mean, a 955, that is huge. I got the little Audi about to come back out in the Aeroflow lane, and in the Rocket Industries lane, we've got a Cressida that is about to come out. Thank you very much, Tim. Yeah, it's an R, and it currently holds the world records for the fastest stock block Golf R. Well, I can see why, as as it comes back up the return road. The Galano Engineering goal. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. What a run. And Tim Fryer in the Centura letting it rip. Great to see Tim here again for Aeroflow Race for Real. That is crazy. 9:55 down the quarter mile. And all our viewers from all around the world and all around Australia and here at the track, you guys got to witness it firsthand. I'll tell you what, this little Audi has been doing some great passes all night, effortless, and runs on through with a 12.89 with 3 at 105. Oh, we got the 99 WRX. It's about to come out up against the Focus. All right, well, the Rexy, red light, but still 2.36 to the 60. A fair bit of wheel spin out of it, though. And Jess from Mad Car Media, she would have got some fantastic photos of that launch. Don't forget, guys, if you want photos of your cars from tonight's Aeroflow Race for Real, make sure you do go on to Mad Car Media's Facebook page. Give the page a like, get in touch with Jess. I'm sure she can organise some fantastic shots of your car here at Aeroflow Race for Real. All right, the FDRX7 O2 Brap from Rotor Talk is back out, sounding much more healthier in the Burnout. He's been taking on the Volkswagen.
And the little Volkswagen, he was a little bit smoky on his last run, didn't we? We thought maybe, was it diesel smoke or what? We're not sure, but we'll keep our eye on the Golf this time around. I think that I'm not being harsh, Stu, but I think the Mazda might have its work cut out for it.
Well, on that launch, I think it might. 2.50 in the 60. That didn't help him at all. But, hey, he's racing himself, not necessarily racing the person next to him. And a 12.42 at 119 to a 13.64 at 106.
It's very unassuming, the Golf.
Very unassuming. All right, the little Volkswagen Up from Club V-Dub.
The Up's been here before.
It certainly has. This young lady is doing a great job as well. Robbie's watching the live stream. G'day, Robbie. Thank you, Cliff. How much is it to race? Well, it depends on the night. So on a normal night, it's about $60 to race here at Aeroflow Race for Real. But if we have a theme night and your car fits into the theme, you're able to race at a discounted price.
Yes, exactly right. And of course, if you're not a first timer, you can take passengers in your car too. So there's the safety requirements to a race here are not particularly difficult to reach. It's just a matter of having an approved helmet, long sleeve top, long pants, and of course covered shoes. Your clothing needs to be natural fibres preferably, because obviously the nylon doesn't help you in the case of when you might need it. So, yeah, natural fibres, long sleeve top and pants, covered shoes, and an approved helmet.
Yep.
It's pretty straightforward. And from there, you can get out and test your car's performance in a safe environment with trained professionals around you. And hopefully with a bit of luck, the drag racing bug will bite and you'll come back.
Oh, yeah. Well, Robbie's coming down from God's country, which is Bathurst, as I affectionately call it. So if you can make it down here, that would be fantastic for Robbie to come down. Yep, $60 to race Robbie on a normal night. Now, looks like SS Jet, the fire may have gone out there, Steve. Crazy next to him though, 1.65 in the 60.
Oh, so close to the 10-second pass. 11.08 with a 9, 122 miles an hour.
Well, that Commodore did the right thing, thought something was wrong, has pulled it up safely and as close to the wall as possible as well. It makes it easier for our track crew to clean up if there's something leaking on the track, and it's also off the racing line.
There's a few flashes of flame out the pipe in the burnout and on the launch, but I don't know if that's what's caused the issue or whether it's something more in the drive line.
Well, just while we've got this car down on track, we'll take a few words from our sponsors here at Aeroflow Race for Real. You with Stephen Bush and the Rocket. Hope you're enjoying all the action. We'll be back very, very soon.
Bang shift shifters from Aeroflow Performance are truly the modern shifter for the modern age. Featuring a full bespoke billet case, all shifters are designed for right-hand drive vehicles with an LED lit gear position indicator. Available in either ratchet or gated options, as well as OEM replacement shifters for popular Holden and Ford vehicles. A large range of Bang shift spares are available for each shifter that includes shifter cables, brackets, lever and gate kits, trans brake buttons and drop boxes for the ideal mounting solution. Shift into gear and check out a full listing at aeroflowperformance.com.
How would it be if we funded a pilot program for you to run that enabled you to bring some vision impaired kids onto the Saints Play program?
Oh wow, that would mean the world. My reward is the smile on the kids' faces.
And since you've given so much to others, we'd also like to do something for you personally. How would it feel if Pepper sent you, your partner, and your daughter Molly to the Gold Coast for a few days?
Yeah, awesome. I don't know what to say. It amazes me. Thank you very much.
All right, next up in the rocket lane, we welcome you back here to Aeroflow Race for Real. We've got this beautiful looking V Commodore, but it's got the HDT SS body kit on it. And I love this body kit on the newer model Commodores. A lot of the old HDT style stuff, I really like it, even if it's on a VH or the modern day car. They had some fantastic designs.
Well, I guess that's your era, isn't it, Stu?
Well, yeah. I mean, I grew up in the 80s, in the Peter Brock era, the Commodore era. And how good was it at Bathurst to see James Brock taking the VK in the demonstration laps around Mount Panorama?
I will admit, I was working in the shed and I didn't see it.
Oh. Well, all I can say is that Lowndes was in the old Better Electrical Falcon, and of course Jamie Whincup was in the Vodafone Commodore, affectionately known as Kate. And of course those two being racers just couldn't help themselves, particularly Lowndesy. And Lowndesy just gave it a few squirts. At one stage they thought he was going to lose it in Caltex Chase. Thankfully he didn't. But it was great to see Larry Perkins doing some laps as well in the restored 93 Bathurst winner. And geez, it looked and sounded fantastic. The last of the Holden-powered touring cars.
It was actually, I think from memory, he hung on to the Holden engine for a little bit longer than everybody else.
He did, yep. He certainly did. A lot of them went to the Chev power plant when they introduced the VPs, and Larry all through the VL to VN and into the VP. So he started off with the Holden engine and then eventually swapped over to a Chev power plant.
Gee, the old rocket lane hasn't been too favourable to the last couple of cars that have run in it.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, that's exactly right. Too many enemies. That's what I was just talking about. Larry ripping around in the 93 Bathurst winner with the late, great Greg Hansford. Great looking car, that one as well. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Cliff. Actually, as a matter of fact, I had a picture on my wall when I was very young, and it was a picture of Larry in the old NZ fluid connectors, a VK Commodore at Bathurst. What a car that was. But I still say to this day, Cliff, and I'm happy for people to prove me wrong, but if it wasn't for Larry, I don't think Brocky would have got as many Bathurst wins as he did. We got a little bit of a mop-up in aisle one. And we'll be back into the racing. A slow wagon is about to come out. The Audi wagon, which is not slow. Gotta love that roof line, don't you?
It does. I was just going to say, it looks like it's moving and it's sitting still. Taking on the Supra in the Aeroflow lane there, Stu. I think the Supra's going to have its work cut out for it here.
Panelman Van goes, it's so weird that the Brock Commodores with the crystals are worth a fortune now. Well, you know, it's history.
Yes.
And, you know, I suppose that if you've got one of those cars, you want to hold on to it because it'd be worth a lot of money. Well, 1094 for Slow Wagon at 127 to a 16.15 there for the Aeroflow lane.
Yeah, probably the quickest 60 foot I've seen of that car there tonight. 164 to the 60 foot.
Well, we've got to battle the Toyotas. We've got the Mark IV Supra with the 2J in it. And he's going to be taking on the Toyota Orion Sportivo. Yeah, a glorified Camry, yes, Ben. But look, he's out there, he's having fun, and that's the main thing. Oh yeah, you did do it in Yaris. I think you started something with the Toyotas, Ben. We've got a few of them here tonight, not just the Super Club from New South Wales. Thank you to them, but a few other people that are getting around. We had an older model Toyota Corolla that was out here earlier. I haven't seen it back.
Only did the one run, I think, didn't it? From memory. Nice on the gear change. Just 12.32 with a 126 miles an hour.
That was a great pass.
Just goes to show the importance of the increments down the racetrack there. That Supra doing the same speed through the speed traps as the Audi that was in the rocket lane the run before, but some second and a half slower.
Well, we've got the Crusader out now, Steve, and he's taking on the modern day Supra.
Crusader just not wanting to get traction under throttle.
No.
11.97 with a 4, 120 mile an hour for the Supra in the rocket lane.
All right, next up on track from the Naughty Boys group, of course they're a clothing company, we got One to Mang. So we got the V6 up against the straight six, the Supra with the 2J in it. Loving the banter going on our live stream on YouTube. All right, One to Mang. A little bit of wheel spin off the start line. Here comes the Supra. The Supra 2.31 in the 60. Can he get around the Commodore? It's Australia versus Japan.
Japan in front of the 1,000, Stu.
He's got it. 14.86 to a 16.26. That was a great run. All right, got the Evo coming out now in the rocket lane. About to take on the EL Falcon.
Yeah, Falcon moved over to the Aeroflow lane. From memory, the little Evo doing pretty well. It's at a 6, I think, isn't it?
I think it is. Well, the Evo went 2.45 in the 60 and then it just hit boost and it just let loose. And a 12.48 at 123. Great miles an hour there for the Evo. To a 14.80 there for the EL. That's a pretty good pass, actually, out of that Falcon.
Yeah, not too bad. I think the Evo probably a little bit more work to do in the 60 foot to get that time down at the end.
All right. The Supra getting a little bit angry in the burnout. He's taking on the Pete Platter in the Commodore. Well, 1.99 in the 60 there for the Supra. Drives around the Commodore at half track. And a 12.24 at 116. 15.80 there for the Commodore. As we got another 2J powered Supra on its way out. This one, number plate is Slapper. Looks like it's got some radials underneath the rear end of it.
Is that the one that had the issue before?
Yes,
I think
it was.
It is, yeah.
Yep.
Driven around the water this time.
Well,
my nerves must be shot, Stu. I jumped about.
I don't know. You did jump. That was like the boys up here in the commentary. That was like the boys up here the year in the commentary box when we had the jet funny cars here.
Yeah.
You okay, Steve?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm awake now. All right.
I'll tell you what, it's worse when you're down on the start line and it does that and you don't explain it.
Although you are sitting next to a person that every time a top bike used to come out, and, the Harleys used to blip the throttle.
Flip the throttle.
Even if I knew it was coming, it'd startle me. Absolutely terrible for it.
All right, the BMW wagon out now in the rocket lane. Now, this gentleman, I'm pretty sure, was out here the other week. I tried to get an interview with him, but he wasn't really interested in talking on the mic about his car, but it is quick.
Ooh. That didn't sound right, Stu, out of the rocket lane there.
No.
Started to shift through the gears, and all of a sudden it made like a fluttering sound, and it's been coasting ever since.
We went 1.60 in the 60.
Yeah, launched nice.
You're 100% right, Steve.
Launched nice, but into second or third gear, it just said I don't want to play anymore and rolled from there. 11.57 with a 5, 121 mile an hour for the Aeroflow lane though. You might be right there, Ben.
Yep.
All right, the 300 ZX taking on the Holden Ute in the Aeroflow lane.
All right, the 300 ZX coming out now. All right, just got to help this 300 ZX stage.
All right, the beige Volvo back again. Let's see what we can run this time. Just lifting that left front once again on the hit. 165 to the 60 foot.
Yeah,
such a sleeper. Such a sleeper. You wouldn't pick it. Runs on through for a 12.16. 109 miles an hour through the finish line. Gets there by 2.5 seconds.
This little Tirana down here, as Steve picked up on earlier, we think it's got a little turbo underneath the bonnet of it. At this stage of the night, this car could potentially run its best pass. it's been there or thereabouts. He's taking on the R33.
Well, I think from memory, it's pretty docile to the 60-foot, and then makes everything happen from there on. Once again, we see it nearly roll out to probably 100 feet out of the start line.
Not a bad launch there from the skyline, 1.69.
And a 1084 with a 3.
Yeah, something definitely not right down in the timing area for the Aeroflow lane. It's not a pro-alcohol car that's gone down.
Yeah.
All right, Grand has a party coming out now in the Anglia bread van.
See, he's not worried about the tyres. Tells you that he is, but he's not.
Yeah, well, you know, he told me last time that was coming from his mouth. He said, you know, it just those tyres are so expensive. I've got to lay off the burnouts a little bit. Well, you know, maybe he's getting more money, so now he can afford to buy them.
Yeah, he's got a raise at work. Out in front of the patrol, he'll get there first, 14 at 98 with a 92 mile an hour. I'll be generous and say 93.
No, I'd say 93.
To a 16.32 in the Aeroflow lane for the patrol, 85 miles an hour.
All right, got another Mustang. We've gone from the Barra to the Coyote. .71 in the 60 this time for the Mustang. Nice and straight down the Aeroflow lane. And a 10.16 with a 4 at 141. Unfortunately there, what looks like the BMW just might have gone in potentially into limp mode, similar to the other one.
Yeah, it didn't even 60 foot like we've been expecting it to.
Yeah.
So whatever issue was happening before the 60 foot.
We've got a Skyline back out on track, the R33. Oh, he's going to be taking on the Statesman.
The Aero 51 performance car just purging the nitrous on the hit. Ready for the hit, I should say. 065 on the tree.
You know, they're desperately trying to get this car into the 10s.
Well,
it's just tinkering with it.
It's a pretty big car to get into the 10-second zone, but an 11.58 with a 132 mile an hour. Tells us that it's making the horsepower to be a 10-second contender, but strong burnout from both the Centura and the Tirana. On track at the moment.
Yeah, Tim Fryer in the Chrysler Centura up against Ramadan Salih in the 430 cubed LSX powered Tirana. Well, once again for Ramadan, Steve, just likes to turn left at 60 foot, which is just hurting him a little bit. He still goes a 9.85 with a 2 at 146. Tim Fryer 10.07 with a 6 at 134. But tell you what, if they can get that 60 right, I reckon there's a lot more in it.
Yeah, the car's certainly moved around each time he's come out at around about the same point on the racetrack. So whether that's a timing issue or something with he's got that cuts in at a certain time or certain place down the racetrack, but yeah, the car's wanting to turn left on each pass that he's done.
All right, got this Golf R, which is the world record holder for the stock engine. Already gone 9.55 tonight on its previous pass, 1.40 in the 60. Steve, looks like it's on course for another mid-9.
Yeah, 9.39
wow.
with a 147 mile an hour. Wow.
Wow. 6.02 to the 8th mile out of that car.
You're doing 117 miles an hour at half track. Bring on roll drags next week.
I reckon. Tell you what, it'd be a tough car to beat in the roll drags too.
I reckon.
Oh, the Audi up against the Focus. A 1.89 to 60 for the Audi. Good to see the Focus is well represented tonight as well.
Yeah, we've got, we had 2 or 3 of them running at one point. And a 14-4 with a 1 for the Aeroflow lane. A 12 at 1.5 with a 7 at 1.14 for the Audi in the Rocket lane.
I got a little Volkswagen up from Club V Dup. Well, BA Skidder, we're not too far away from the Burnouts. We've got about 5 or 6 cars tonight for the Burnouts. Yeah, still got a few cars left to run, BA Skidder, but won't be too far away. Stan's saying the roll drags needs to be at least 1,000 foot. Well, we'll see.
We're working on that.
We're working on it. We'll just get this next one out of the road first, see how it goes. Obviously, some of the cars that we do come out for the roll drags, as Steve and I have mentioned, they are extremely quick. And obviously, safety is paramount here at Sydney Dragway. So, even running them over the 8th, it's still some very quick times over the 8th mile in a car that's probably got about 2,000 horsepower. So, safety is paramount.
All right, a little Hilux crazy back out for another go. Hooks up pretty well considering there's next to no weight over the back of the car. Just has a little bit of a wiggle off the start line, but rolls out of it early there. 11.36 with a 6, only 103 miles an hour through the finish line. Another Focus taking on the Falcon.
Well, the Falcon not too shy and ripping it up in the Burnout.
No, certainly not.
Probably seen that VN Commodore a little bit earlier and gone, you know what, I'm going to have a crack myself.
Well, I had to sit up a little bit higher because I thought it was the same car. It's not, same similar colour red, but no, this one, the Falcon.
We're just waiting for one of the cars to go around turnaround before we can send these cars. All right, guys, got a little bit of a skippy problem, so we're just going to wait for this little kangaroo to make its way back off the racing area before we can resume. All right, guys, got Slow Wagon that is coming out now in the rocket lane. He's going to be taking on the Dan Dan Performance WRX. As you see, Neil Lentil coming out in the ute. G'day, Neil. All our Burnout cars making their way out.
And Slow Wagon runs on. Slow Wagon runs through for a 10.94 with a 1. All right, a pair of Toyotas about to hit the start line now. The Arion keeping up with the Crusader. I think the Arion's going to get it. No, it does not. 13.17 with a 4.115. And the Falcon runs on through for a 14.78. 95 miles an hour through the finish line. Area 51, Caprice taking on the Skyline once again. I think these two raced each other the last time out.
Yeah, they did.
And I believe this is our last pair of drag racing vehicles for the evening. And then we've got a number of Burnout cars already rolled past the pad, being turned around at the moment. The Caprice out in front, still at 1,000, 11.40 with a 3, 134 mile an hour through the finish line to take it. And 11.56 with a 7 at 123. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, that was our last pair of drag racing cars, but we do have 5 or 6 Burnout cars just getting ready down at the southern end of the pad. And while we wait for that to happen, I'm just going to throw to our big screen for a couple of last words from some of our sponsors, and Stu and I will be back with you very, very shortly.
Stay informed, up to date and entertained thanks to the Western Weekender. The Western Weekender is Penrith's leading free and local newspaper, delivering the best content from on-the-ground journalists and providing businesses with direct access to potential customers. News, sport, entertainment, puzzles and so much more. The Western Weekender is the heartbeat of Penrith and it's out every Thursday. Get your free copy at selected locations in the area, home delivered, or check out westernweekender.com.au.
Boosted turbochargers from Aeroflow Performance are designed for the automotive enthusiast who wants optimal performance at a competitive price. We have a range of turbochargers in both ceramic ball bearing and 360-degree journal bearing options to suit your power goals from 200 up to 3,000 horsepower. To help turbocharge your vehicle, Aeroflow Performance also have a large range of turbocharger accessories. From steam pipe turbo manifolds, external wastegates and intake and exhaust solutions, you can have your car boosted in no time. For a full listing, check out aeroflowperformance.com.
Speed Addict Clothing Co. Fast clothes for fast people. Shop now at Speed Addict.
Well, thank you very much to all our supporters here at Sydney Dragway. Without all those businesses backing us, the venue would not be what it is today. As I said, we're not too far away from unleashing our Burnout competitors onto the pad. our good friend Stuart the Pocket Rocket is down there somewhere.
I am down here. Cannot wait for the skids. How you going, Sydney? I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to the skids tonight. I mean, I love burnouts in general as much as I love drag racing. It's going to be a great night. We've got plenty of Commodores and, of course, the Glossodia mechanical team here as well. Neil Lentil. We've got LS Hater, which looks like it's going to be the first car out for a skid. Well, from GMR Skidders, Neil's here, the Glossodia mechanical ute. Now, is it right you've chopped this thing a little bit?
Yeah, only took 400 mil out of the centre.
Only 400 mil out of the centre. You reckon that's going to benefit you?
Oh, yeah. We'll see.
Well, mate, your last skid at Aeroflow Tyre Thrashing Thursday, that was unbelievable. Like, those skids were great. The smile didn't come off your face. This thing was just off its head. You got a little bit more room to play with.
Yeah. Yeah, should be good.
All right, here we go, Sydney. We're about to get into the burnouts. LS Hater about to come out now. Well, this Hater, unfortunately, doesn't look like he's got that rear set of tyres off. Great to see Mr. Grumpy here tonight, as well as Boogie and Sus, General Motors Holden. Sydney Dragway, put your hands together for Smoko. Obviously, that modification to Smoko has benefited the car big time. Great skid there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Sus General Motors, Holden from Clubmang Nation. Good, strong, solid Burnout. Next up, we've got Boogie. Great stuff there from Boogie. Try to get those rear tyres off. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Grumpy is out next. Well, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Grumpy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for tonight's Aeroflow Race for Real. Thank you to everybody who came to the track, all you fans who have supported the event. Hope you enjoyed the racing and the burnouts this evening. Also to everybody that's been watching via our live stream platforms, thank you guys for being part of the chat. It's been a fantastic night. And to Steve Bush, my co-commentator, mate, it's fantastic to be back on the mic with you again.
Thank you very much, Stu. Just a reminder to everybody to travel safe home. Keep your eyes on the track's website, www.sydneydragway.com.au for all the announcements and information coming your way with upcoming events. We'll see you here, hopefully on the weekend for the next round of the Speed Addict Clothing Co. Track Championship. And, of course, if not then, a Race for Real next Wednesday night, followed by Roll Drags next Thursday night, the second edition. Look forward to seeing you sometime very soon here at Sydney Dragway. On behalf of Stuart White and myself, I'd like to wish everybody a good night.